A very good evening to all of you. Before we begin officially the today's event, here is an open networking topic for all of you. The topic that we have today is what is one thing that Rotary, Rotract or Interact has taught you? Please use the chat box to share your answers, and we will request you to unmute randomly to expand more. So chat is where you can respond on the question, which is what is the one thing that Rotary, Rotract, Interact has taught you? You know, when we have such kind of open networking session, what happens is we learn from each other. So that's why the topic, and just to let you know, my name is Rotarian Rashi Sinha. I am part of the Rotary Club Delhi Elite, and I would be glad to know your views on the open networking topic and would love to read them out for our audience, and also get you to share more pointers about it. So I will be waiting for you to respond and use the chat box to share your points. As far as I am concerned, from the time I have joined the club, there are two things which I learned. Number one is about giving. You know, it inculcates the habit of giving within you. Rotary helps you do that. And also it helped me refine the art of networking. And we have started receiving certain answers, like Rotarian Shreya says, I have learned how to communicate well. Another response which we have received is that leadership skills are what we have learned through Rotary. So more answers, please, because, you know, when we receive answers and responses from you, we all can learn from each other. So another response from Rotarian Ankit is responsibility. Ekta says people management, absolutely. That's what is a big deal because of the various events we do in Rotary. People management is a big learning we all have. Rotract has taught me to carry myself confidently is another message we have received. Planning and execution is what another answer we have received, or understanding about sustainability project and event execution. So these are some awesome life skills, business skills that we all learn. So I would be looking for more answers because, you know, like I was saying, we all learn from each other. And the very well-known speaker Maya used to say that when you know better, you do better. So let's share all our learnings with each other. Another message we have received, which has come in form of a quote: alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Very well said. And I would now request some of you to unmute and share. I can see Ankit has responded. I shared about the sustainable projects and event execution. He also spoke about responsibility. So Ankit, if you could unmute and share more about the things which you have learned in Rotary. Ankit?
Hi, Rashi ma'am.
Hi, Ankit.
How are you?
I'm good. So why don't you share something more about your learnings in Rotary?
See, Rotary and Rotract has been a very vital component in my life for past 7 years. So I've been associated with Rotract since 2015. So there are many things that I have learned throughout my journey. And few I have mentioned. Responsibility, first of all, because it takes a lot to take up that responsibility to make sure that everyone around you works well, efficiently, and has that feeling that yes, teamwork is something that we are always looking for. And society and giving more to the society is something that you're working for. So that's one thing that I have learned. Second that I feel is leadership, because it's good to work in a team, but then you have to acquire those skills to lead the team, so that you can make sure that yes, the team is more efficient, the team is more, I would say, working in a right direction, and making sure that we have a larger impact on the overall society. Now, third and the most important for me is sustainable project and events execution. See, this is something not only Rotary, this is something that we don't only require in Rotary, but in our personal and professional lives too, because it's pretty obvious that we have limited resources. It's not that we are always going to have that abundant sources to make sure that everything is online and everything is on track. So that's the trick when it comes in, when you execute and make sure that you have your projects on a very good scale in Rotary and Rotary. I've been lucky to be the part of both the organizations. So this is something that I always look up to, sustainable executions of the projects and events, so that you have limited resources, but then you have a greater impact.
That was an awesome learning, sharing, Ankit, over here, because this is what happens when we are able to talk more about it. It's something I believe a Rotary or a Rotaract member can actually be recognized separately from the crowd, because they learn so much within the organization that it helps develop the entire personality. Now, I would like to request if Dinesh ji, if you could unmute and share your learnings. We would love to know some words of wisdom from you on your learnings from Rotary.
Is it for me?
Yes, definitely. Please, sir.
Thank you and compliments. And I thought there are a lot of my seniors here. I see DG Ashok Kantur is there, IPDG Sanjeev Rai Mehra is there, Rakesh Talwarji is there. So compliments on this wonderful session. And yes, Rotary, as I said, has gives you so many opportunities, and to give it is selfless service. To give you the latest example, I am a part of the international discussion going on right now on the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. So there's a discussion, should India be supporting Ukraine or not, because Ukraine has not been supportive of India for very much. But then the thing is that Rotary goes beyond that. So Rotary is extending a lot of help. Rotary India is also trying to extend help in Ukraine. So I would conclude that I can't speak much. I am in COVID. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, and we hope you get well soon, sir. And thank you for joining even when you are not keeping well. So moving on, we can now request Rakesh ji, if you could also share some of your thoughts on what Rotary has taught you and what we should learn and look forward to.
Thank you, Raki. And it is a wonderful meeting, wonderful initiative, I must say. And I don't know, Dinesh ji said she is from the COVID. Even I am also from the COVID down. I think the Ashok ji is that, the team. I don't know. Ashok ji, please bless us. Anyway, not speaking much. I have learned 3 things. Any person can become from unorganized to organized person. Casual to disciplined person. A good person to a better person, and better person to a best person. This is what Rotary has taught. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rakesh ji. Now also over to you, Ashok ji. We would love to hear your thoughts also and learnings from Rotary, please.
I think if you really want to ask me, I would rather say कि जो मेरे को अभी आपने टाइम दिया है ना बोलने का, तो उसमें I can spend complete 11 minutes on this subject only and only and only, that what all I have learned in my career, I would say, in Rotary. Way back in 1997 I joined, and I don't think there is any area in my life which has not been touched by Rotary, which has not changed me. In fact, I am very happy to hear from other Rotary actors, like whatever we talk about in every session, but what the Rotary gives, and what I am hearing from all of you, what I see, that whatever we talk of and what you are saying is matching. And it is always said that self-learning is the best experience. किसी को बोलते हो कि आप ये चीज कर सकते हो, पा सकते हो, उसमें बहुत फर्क है. जो अपने आप सीखते हो उसमें बहुत फर्क होता है. और हमारे जो रोटरैक्टर्स हैं या रोटेरियंस हैं, आई बिलीव इतना कुछ सीखने को मिलता है. सबसे बड़ी जो सीख मिलती है, यू लर्न टू वर्क इन अ टीम, यू लर्न टू वर्क इन अ डाइवर्स एनवायरनमेंट. लीडरशिप डेवलपमेंट तो होती है. लीडरशिप डेवलपमेंट के अलावा आपको कैसे सिचुएशन को हैंडल करना है, आप वो सीखते हो. आपकी लाइफ पूरी चेंज हो जाती है. यू कैन सी पीपल व्हेन दे जॉइंड रोटरैक्ट मूवमेंट और एज अ रोटेरियन, एंड आफ्टर अ कपल ऑफ इयर्स you can see the transformation in everyone. I would even go further to say, even in the case of the interactors also, बहुत बड़ा transformation है. I think I can keep on saying, so let's close here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashok ji. And सच में आपने जितनी बातें शेयर की, I am sure we all have learned something new from that. Yes, चाहे वो लीडरशिप हो, टीम बिल्डिंग हो, वर्किंग अंडर प्रेशर हो, रोटरी हमें ये सारी चीजें सिखाता है. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर ऑल योर आंसर्स एंड enthusiasm in participating in this open networking session. Now let's start the evening. Over to the MC.
Very interactive and an enthusiastic start to this event. Thank you so much, Rashi ji. कदम रहे गतिमान, बने मतिमान के लक्ष्य महान हो. संयम ही जीवन, अभिनव अभियान हो, अभिनव अभियान. Hello, namaskar, assalamu alaikum. A very good evening to one and all present here. This is Rotary actor Riya Singhal, and I feel privileged to get this opportunity to welcome you all on the behalf of Rotary Club of Delhi Elite in connecting RTR 2.0. In this beautiful evening, we celebrate the moment with a wholesome spirit of togetherness and Rotary and Rotary. How lovely it is that we are so far from each other and still connected together. To begin with, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our chief guest, Rotarian Ashok Kantur sir, immediate past district governor Rotarian Sanjeev Rai Mehra sir, Rotarian Rakesh Talwar sir, and Rotarian Dinesh Jain sir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. A man is a patriot if his heart beats true to the country. Keeping this thought in the center, we will begin with the national anthem, and I would request you all to kindly stand for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा. विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा. तव शुभ नामे जागे शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Thank you so much, everyone. Please have your seats. Moving ahead with the spirits of spirituality and remembering the presence of Lord Ganesha, here we present the Ganesh Vandana.
गणपतये नमो नमः, श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बप्पा मोरया, मंगल मूर्ति मोरया। ओम गणपतये नमो नमः, श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बप्पा मोरया, मंगल मूर्ति मोरया। ओम गणपतये नमो नमः, श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः, अष्ट विनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बप्पा मोरया, मंगल मूर्ति मोरया। ओम गणपतये नमो नमः, श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः, अष्ट विनायक नमो नमः।
Thank you very much. As we all know, it's extremely vital to remember the guiding principles of the Rotary movement, and for the same, I would request Rotarian Kabir Bansal, President-elect of Rotary Club of Delhi Elite, to kindly come forward and read the four-way test.
Thank you, Ria. Thank you so much. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Leadership is not about the title or the designation. It's about impact, influence, and inspiration. With this, may I call upon Connecting RTR 2.0 Chair, Rotarian Rotaractor Ankit Singh, to kindly welcome the audience.
Thank you so much, Ria. Yeah. So, Rotarian Rotaractors are very much more favorably disposed towards actions than they are towards words. Cheerful Rotary greetings, everyone. The Rotary Club of Delhi Elite, RID 3011, welcomes you to all colossal event of this year, Connecting RTR 2.0, wherein we inspire and aspire to connect the Rotaract and Rotary clubs of District 3011 into a holistic and profuse experience of teamwork and passion. This event will provide the Rotaractors a platform to exhibit and channelize their work and assimilate more about the Rotary and Rotaract relations. Now, I would like to give a special mention to the people without whom this event would not have been possible, the core committee of this event. They have been the backbone for me and for the event as well. And I could have never imagined the event to be possible without them. I would request everyone to please give a big round of applause to Shreya, Anmol, Sarthak, Kanish, and all the team members and leaders with their respective teams. Next, I would like to thank District Governor-elect Rotarian Ashok Kanturji, immediate past District Governor Rotarian Sanjeev Rai Mehra ji, past Governor Rotarian Vinay Bhatia ji, Assistant Governor Designate Rotarian,   Apurva   Chamaria ji, Ms. Sonal Vashisht for honoring our event with their esteemed presence. In spite of a busy schedule, they made sure that they take out time for us and grace our event. It really means a lot to us. It has always been said that teamwork is the ability to work together for a common vision. We assured you that this time, connecting RTR would be much, much, much bigger than the previous edition. As we have almost all the clubs of our district with us to support for the event. We have 7 major Rotary partners and more than 40 supporting clubs. With this aim of enlightening all the Rotary actors of our District 3011, we hope to confer the glory and exhilaration we all will incite. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your words full of spark and enthusiasm. Influential, determined, and one of the most cheerful leaders of all time, President of Rotary Club of Delhi Elite, Rotarian Shreya Snehi. We feel privileged to work under the guidance and support of such a personality, and now I would request her to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you so much, Ria. A very good evening to everyone present here. It gives me immense pleasure to address the respectable senior Rotarians, DG designates, Rotractors, interactors, and all our attendees who have joined us here. I, Rotarian Shreya Snehi, President of Rotary Club of Delhi Elite, welcomes you all to Connecting RTR 2.0. Well, this event has a lot of emotions attached to it. Our team, since we all come from a strong Rotary background, we understand the change we experience after becoming a Rotarian. With this being our only motive, we initiated this event back in 2019. And at that time, RTR was just Rotary to Rotary for us. During all this time, we have understood its various interpretations and relevance. So this year, we launched our official club website, www.rcdelhielite.org, where you will find all about our club. Along with this website, we have also integrated a special platform for the Rotary clubs, wherein they can showcase their projects, which they have worked upon throughout the year. This initiative is just to bridge the gap between Rotaract and Rotary, and I am very grateful that the Rotary clubs of 3011 have shown very enthusiastic participation for the same. I was really amazed to see the type of videos they have submitted. I could actually see that they have put in a lot of efforts into it. And also to especially mention the audience who are watching us live on our website, who are not here. So I am thankful to each one of you for your presence. Without taking much time, I would just like to conclude by saying that if any Rotaractor wishes to have a dual membership, the doors are always open of Rotary Club of Delhi Elite. Thank you once again for joining. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam President. And here I'm extremely happy and proud to announce that Connecting RTR 2.0 have received the support of more than 75% Rotaract clubs of Rotaract District 3011 with 400 plus registrations. Moving further, to improve, we need to change. And to be perfect, we need to change often. And reforms are necessary for this change to happen. And here we come with our very first session of the day that will make you aware about Rotaract related reforms starting from Rota year 2022-23. And for that, I would request District Rotaract Secretary for the Rota year 2020-21, Rotaractor Ekta Goyal, to kindly introduce our chief guest and the first speaker of the day to our lovely audience.
Thank you, Ria. The very essence of leadership is that you have to have a vision. It's got to be a vision you articulate clearly and forcefully on every occasion. Our esteemed chief guest, District Governor 2022-23, Rotarian Ashok Kantur ji, is a chartered accountant by profession and joined Rotary in 1997-98. He became the president of the Rotary Club of Delhi West in 2004 and 5 and was awarded the title of the Best President Award. Not only this, he has also been awarded the highest award bestowed to a Rotarian, Service Above Self Award 2020-21. Having a vast experience in every aspect of Rotary, he has made himself a resource, and several Rotarians across the board look forward to him for any advice. Now, I request everyone to put their hands together and welcome our chief guest of the day, District Governor 2022-23, Rotarian Ashok Kanturji.
Thank you, Ekta. President of Rotary Club of Delhi, Elite Shreya, past District Governor Vinay, immediate past District Governor Sanjeev Rai Mehra, District Secretary 22-23, Secretariat Rakesh Talwar, District Secretary 22-23, Club Support Dinesh Jain. Then I see Mohitanand Bhatia also here, fellow Rotarians and Rotaractors. Good evening to all of you. I'm quite impressed with the name connecting R to RTR, Rotaract to Rotarian. This could have two meanings. One, having a dual membership as a Rotaractor and as a Rotarian, or moving from Rotaractor to becoming a Rotarian. Now, before I deliver my address, let me share some data with you. We have Interact clubs across the globe, more than 20,000 clubs, and about 468,000 interactors. And talking about the Rotaract clubs, almost half of them, say about 10,900 clubs, and again half of the interactors, say 250,000 Rotaractors. And incidentally, only 4% of the Rotaractors become Rotarians. This is a point we need to ponder upon. Rotary has realized the importance and value of the Rotaract movement. There has been sea changes which are going to take effect from 1st of July. No doubt, like we have RI dues, the Rotaractors will also have to pay $5 per annum for a university-based club and $8 per annum for a community-based club. But this $5 and $8 is not significant. I don't think it is even a cost of a one pizza that you eat one time. That I don't think is a challenge for any of you. But see the benefit that you are going to get from next year onward. You can participate in any global grant project. You can be a host, sponsor, or the international sponsor for any project. The dual membership, we all know, it's very much prevalent. The upper limit of Rotaractors has been removed. You are currently given the authority to even form your own club without taking the support of any Rotary club. You are eligible for the citations and the recognitions which any Rotarians can get. So next year onward, do make it a point to track the RI site to know that what are the timelines when you can really know and identify when to apply for the recognitions. Like in my introduction, it was said that I got the recognition of service above, self above. But it was possible only when the immediate past district governor applied before the due date. You miss the due date, you are not eligible. Coming back to the main point, that now since Rotary has given full recognition to the Rotaract movement. Even the incoming president-elect Jennifer Zone had in the recent past announced that in the International Assembly, which unfortunately could not take place physically, it was virtually, but had it been physically possible, 65 Rotaractors were given the opportunity across the globe with everything paid for by Rotary International to go to Orlando and attend the International Assembly. Even the RI President-elect has appointed few Rotaractors in the advisory committee. We in our district, like in our year 22-23, we have taken a very conscious decision that in every committee that we are going to make, we will have at least one Rotaractor who will be part of that committee. I have already shared my view on several forums, and in fact, I am glad to share that I have received about 15 names so far. So on this platform, where I have just heard that about 400 registrations are there, any Rotaractors, not necessarily the immediate past president or the past president, any Rotaractor having a desire to work in a district team and having time to spare is welcome. You can connect me through any of our team. We will make sure that we will send you the form where you can express your area of interest, and we will try to adjust you in that area. Now, imagine a scenario where we were just before the beginning of this event, in an informal discussion, in a networking, we were all talking about what all interactor or a Rotaractor or as a Rotarian, one thing that everyone has learned. Now here, I am giving you an opportunity where working with a district team, where the young brain and the experienced brain all sit down together and share the ideas. So you all can learn from our experience, and we all can learn from your new out-of-the-box ideas, we may not have. This is what we are looking at. So today's event is a marvelous and a great event. In fact, I had an opportunity to go to your website, but I was quite happy to see that 25 clubs have uploaded your projects through YouTube. Though it was not possible for me to watch all 25 of them, but few I saw, and I'm glad the kind of work you Rotaractors are doing. So let's work together, make our movement strong. The Rotary has already given an independent status to the Rotaract movement. You can open your own bank account, you can run your own organizations. You do not really need Rotary now. You must be proud of it. Carry on good work, be a good human being, have a strong leadership, develop it, serve humanity, and serve to change life. Thank you.
I would like to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to District Governor-elect Rotarian Ashok Kanturji for his wise words. I would also like to mention that we are all looking forward to Rotary year 2022-23 and are quite excited to work under your leadership.
Before moving forward, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our past district governor, Rotarian Vinay Bhatia sir, and Rotarian Mohit Anand sir. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Your presence means a lot to us today. If your actions inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you're a leader. To inspire you all with his ideas, to fill you up with enthusiasm, here comes a man of honor to give a reason and a vision to the young Rotaractors to opt for the dual membership and continue their selfless service in Rotary. And now I would request Assistant District Rotaract Representative for Rota Year 2020-2021, Rotarian Rotaractor Bhavya Janeja, to kindly introduce our guest speaker to the audience.
Thank you so much, Riya. The greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and his ability to affect those around him positively. Immediate past District Governor Rotarian Sanjeev Rai Mehra ji, a chartered accountant by profession, joined Rotary back in 1978 and was a charter member of Rotary Club of New Delhi. He served as the president in the year 2003 to 2004 and was awarded with the Outstanding President during that tenure. Not only this, he was also awarded as the Outstanding Secretary back in 2001. He has served in Rotary District team for 22 years continuously. Now I would like to invite the one who inspires us to be better version of ourselves. Please welcome our immediate past District Governor, Rotarian Sanjeev Rai Mehra ji.
Thank you, Bhavya. Thank you for your introduction. Governor-elect Ashok, President Shreya, past District Governor Vinay Bhatia, Rotarians of District 3011, Rotaractors, others present. Good evening and namaskar. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. And it was wonderful listening to some of the interactions that was there at the beginning of the program. And that's where I got my cue to talk to you this evening. All of the comments that came in were that their main aim or the main thrust of their membership of Rotaract or Rotary was self-improvement. And I think that is the key point today. As somebody very famously said, behavior is the image through which we portray ourselves. You know, every human being, or for that matter, any animal, also endeavors to improve projection of its image to increase social acceptability. Animals or birds will preen themselves. Humans are a little ahead. They have the ability to inspire others. And I thought I would take that very cue to take your program forward. And I remember a famous economist by the name of Thorstein Veblen in 1919 propounded a theory of enhancement of social acceptability. Let me take you back in history about 2,000 years back. Everybody here is familiar with Julius Caesar. 2,000 years ago, Julius Caesar at 23 was a junior politician. And he had a small role in the army. And he was trying to work his way up in life. But he had one thing which was there. He had confidence and brains. One day, sailing on the Aegean Sea, Sicilian pirates captured him along with the troops. And the pirates, as you know, were only looking for a ransom. So they decided that they would send one of the men from Julius Caesar's troop back to Rome, and they demanded a ransom of 20 talents of silver. A talent of silver is about 31 kilos of silver. So that's about 620 kilos of silver. But Caesar told them that they were being ridiculous. He couldn't possibly allow himself to be ransomed for so cheaply. The pirates hesitated. They were confused. Caesar insisted that the ransom must be raised to 50 talents of silver. Now the pirates didn't know what to make of this. Normally their captives tried to escape as cheaply as possible. But here was a person who had more than doubled the ransom. So they let Caesar's man go down to Rome with the demand for 50 talents of silver. In Rome, in his absence, Caesar suddenly became very famous and well known. No one had ever been ransomed for such a large, enormous sum of money. He must be somebody very special, and he must be incredibly important, people thought. And actually, Caesar had invented what is now called the Veblen effect. Although Thorstein gave that 2,000 years later. But Caesar, well, eventually the rulers over there gave the money and released Caesar. But Caesar was not the person who was going to let them go. He went after those pirates, not only took the money that they had ransomed for him, but they also, all the pillage that they had taken from other people, he got that back. Now he was a very important person. And he had just invented the Veblen effect. It is when you actually portray yourself to be somebody better than yourself. He had placed a price much higher than anybody thought he was worth. And therefore, he became a very, very famous person. He rose very fast in the army. Of course, he had the brains, he was brave, and he was able to get a lot of support. And he became, of course, eventually the ruler of Rome. Caesar had realized, and this is very important for you people also, that the most expensive real estate in the world is the human mind. How you stake a claim in the mind is by creating a perception. How you create that perception is by controlling the context. You control the context, you control the mind. You control the mind, you control reality. Let's give you another example of this Veblen. I'm sure not many of you people drink, and neither do I, but a good example of the Veblen is the Johnny Walker Black Label and the Johnny Walker Double Black. Johnny Walker Black Label is labeled as 12 years old maturity of Scotch, but the Johnny Walker Double Black has no age statement. The Double Black is sold at a higher price than the Johnny Walker Black Label, with a perceived notion that Double Black should be much better than black, especially since black is pricier than Double Black is pricier than black. That's how the human mind works. In reality, nobody knows what is so special about Double Black. except that the label claims it is very smooth, which actually is saying it is smoother than black, but they're not actually saying that. And that is why the company is able to create a different perception of it. Some of the other aspects which do require little thought are, let us say you have a Rolex or a Bentley or a Rolls Royce. Is it any better than any of its rivals? But no, they are able to sell it off at a much higher value because they attach more value to their quality. And that is, one is often asked, what makes Rotary International such a successful institution? A simple reply would be its membership. Rotary members have the time-tested values of honesty. They have the values of integrity and accountability. Its members are leaders with clarity, humility, and courage. While for many years, Rotaract was a program of Rotary International and lived as an added adjunct to the great Rotary movement. But however, in 2019, the RI board had the wisdom to give greater wings to this young organization. I call this young organization as the your presenter also said, young organization, although the age bar on the membership was removed. But the idea of young at thought remains. Rotaract clubs who had earlier to seek out Rotary clubs to sponsor them were now independent and could charter themselves. Governor-elect Ashok also just informed you some of the other advantages, that they would be able to apply for global grants on their own without sponsor Rotary clubs. But the greatest impetus to the Rotaract movement was given by the RI board by its board decision in 2021 November, when Rotaract clubs were allowed to sponsor new Rotary clubs. Please mark my words. The roles are now reversed. Earlier, Rotary clubs could sponsor Rotaract. Tomorrow, you will be able to sponsor Rotary clubs. The roles have truly reversed. And the Rotaract clubs must rise to the occasion and come out of the shadows of Rotary clubs and adopt the leadership role. See, in 1989, there was an inspirational teacher by the name of Stephen Covey. He wrote a book called The 7 Habits of Effectiveness, or the 7 Habits of Effective People. It was a runaway success. But however, 15 years later, he came up with another book. This time, he said the 8th habit, effectiveness to greatness. It is that moment in history for Rotaract clubs. They have been largely an adjunct to the Rotary movement, but a new paradigm shift has emerged. And Rotaract must adopt the attitude to become a great organization by aligning interdependence between Rotary and Rotaract. So it is truly your moment in history. You must seize the occasion and add on Rotary membership to your resumes. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm available for any comments or any questions that you may have, because it is connecting, and connecting is an interdependence program where you're connecting Rotary to Rotaract. I'm putting it the other way around. Today, you have the role. You can sponsor Rotary clubs, and Rotary will be looking at Rotaract to drive their organization forward. You are truly going to be the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, immediate past District Governor Sanjeev Rai Mehra ji. Your words were really enlightening. And as we all know, that last tenure was so amazing. We got to experience so many big district events. So thank you so much, sir, for giving us your precious time.
You're not able to hear any sound.
Thank you so much, everyone. Well, we all know that the pandemic has hit the entire world very hard. After every few months, we are facing new phases of this uncomfortable situation. But our Rotaractors are never short of enthusiasm. And to keep their spirits high, we are here with another session of the evening that will enlighten us about how the Rotaractors can plan on-ground events after lockdown or the prevailing restrictions with full efficiency and effectiveness. So now, I would request Rotaractor Meghna Chatkara to kindly introduce our upcoming speaker to the audience.
Thank you, Ria. Leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowchart. It's about one life influencing another. This man of honor has served as district governor in 2018-19 and is also the assistant zonal ambassador at Rotary Task Force for District 3012, 3070, and 3080, and is also the assistant regional Rotary Foundation coordinator, Zone 4, District 3011, 3012, and 3080. May I call upon past district governor, Rotarian Binay Bhatia ji in the limelight.
Am I audible? Thank you very much for that introduction. Chief guest of the day, DG Ashok Kantur, President Shreya, immediate past District Governor Sanjeev, distinguished Rotarians, dear Rotaractors. It is always a pleasure to be part of this connecting RTR, because from being a Rotaractor to a Rotarian, I understand and value this relationship. Thank you for having me. Friends, we understand what has done this COVID to us. But one thing which, out of so many things which were taught by Corona to us, one of them was virtual meetings. Meeting virtually was one thing which was taught by us. Corona didn't create all those meetings, but yes, COVID made them popular in that area. We understood that the digital meetings are very cost effective. We understood that virtual meetings could be created in a very small time, very short span of time. Rather, immediately we could create a meeting. Let us meet, and then virtual meeting could be done. We understood that participation in these meetings could be global at any point of time. We understood that screens, files could be recorded and record could be prepared very easily. All those things we saw in that period, and we were very comfortable. But were we happy? Were we in a position to select, or did we have option to have those meetings? Friends, that was a forced thing to do. We learned to meet because we all understand that the basis on which our organization stand, or the first thing which came in 1905 when we thought of having an organization like that, was fellowship. But now things are changing. The world is moving on. What extra in physical meetings we can have over virtual meetings? If we see a recent study by greatbusinessschool.org, it says and shows that 95% of respondents said that face-to-face meetings are essential for building long-term businesses, relationships, and they are important for creating loyalty and trust. So my dear friends, that physical meetings in 95%, overwhelming majority says that they create better relationships and better trust. We also understand that in-person meetings generate more ideas. Reason being that eye-to-eye contact and clarity with which the thoughts are being exchanged, the body language, these are all created in face-to-face meetings. And one thing, physical meetings have more focus. Why? In virtual meetings, we can do certain other things. We can reply our emails. We can do other things. But in face-to-face meeting, the clarity is more in our meetings. So my dear friends, now we have choice. If we want to have a meeting where we want more clarity to be obtained, if we want to have more relationship to be created, if it is a meeting where we understand that body language or eye-to-eye contact is more important, then we can go for the physical meetings. But to me, a hybrid mode of meeting is the main idea behind all this thing. We can have both kinds of meetings. If we want to have a meeting where immediately we want to meet and share some idea, virtual meeting is there. But then, friends, in physical meeting, we used to have certain problems or certain challenges were there. One of them was cost effectiveness. To my mind, that can be taken care of by now. We have understood we can have physical meetings with less cost effectiveness, with less cost. We can save on account of certain things, but effectiveness of the meeting can still be taken care. So at the end, I would only like to say that today hybrid mode of meeting is the key. I once again thank all of you for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with the inspiring words. We all felt the same experience that you presented about the hybrid mode, but we also really appreciate and thank you for always supporting us in difficult times. and it will always be remembered and appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have always heard that if opportunity doesn't come knocking at your door, build a brand. Your brand is what other people say about you when you are not in the room, and with this, the hustle begins. Are you getting some Shark Tank feels? If yes, then here comes our next speaker of the day to make you all aware about brand building that would help us to deal with the dynamic world around. And for his introduction, I would request Rotaractor Vrinda Sahai to kindly do the needful.
Thank you. A best-selling author and angel investor, Assistant Governor Designate Rotarian Apoorv Chamaria ji is the head of Partnership Solutions, Startups and Venture Capital at Google India. Earlier, he has served as the Senior Vice President and Chief of Staff to CEO and MD at Tech Mahindra. He was also the Chief Revenue Officer of RateGain and Global Head of Marketing for HCL Technologies. He's a columnist for The Pitch and Digital Market Asia magazines. Not only this, he has been recognized by Economic Times as amongst the top 10 angel investors in India, and also by Prime Minister Narendra Modi for contributing for Digital India. This man of honor is regarded as a thought leader on digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now please call upon Assistant Governor Designate Rotarian Apoorv Chamaria ji in the limelight. And to moderate the session, I would like to call Rotarian Sonal Sehgal ji from Rotary Club of Delhi Elite, the Director of Global Honeybee Private Limited, working for digital marketing.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Vrinda. And thank you to Rotary Club of Delhi Elite for having me amongst this August gathering. It's truly a delight to be speaking to young Rotarians like you who have a keen interest in public service and want to learn the art of personal branding and understand how can it contribute both to their professional and personal development. So personal branding, the way you should think about it is it's more than a 30-second elevator pitch which you use to introduce yourself. While it's very important to quickly and concisely explain who you are and what you can bring to the table, personal branding goes much deeper than this. It's a vital key to the success of any businessman, solopreneur, or even a lawyer, doctor, or a chartered accountant. So let's talk about what is personal branding. Just as any business's brand is a representation of the company's image as you see it, personal branding is the way others see you. In fact, Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder, described it very well when he said that your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. It becomes very important for us as Rotarians. One of our key aims for Rotary globally is to really make Rotary themes and the Rotary image very well known. So most clubs and even at a district level usually have a chair of public image. Now, similarly, if you were an institution and all of you should aspire to be an institution and brand, the best way to understand your personal brand is what are people saying about you when you're not in the room. A very famous theologist, philosopher said that it takes years to create reputation and it takes seconds to damage it. The same thing is very important for personal brand. And I think the 4-way test is nothing but a great litmus test to ensure that your personal brand is getting strengthened and not damaged. A point to note here and a point to consider here is whether it is public life or professional life, both the lives are intermingling very closely today. And earlier, you would always have Facebook as a place only for personal relationships, Twitter, where you could be provocative, Instagram, where you could actually be better than you are and look really glam, and LinkedIn, where you had to be professional. Now you see many youngsters protesting about social causes like the recent war which Russia has brought to Ukraine on LinkedIn. You see people positioning themselves as thought leaders on Facebook and actually being professional on Instagram. the way to think about personal brand in today's time is your living room has become the football ground, your football ground has become the living room, and your kitchen is your new classroom. Never has it been truer in today's very, very volatile, uncertain, and complex times. However, I don't think there is any reason to be disheartened because there have been many experiments and many people who have built a personal brand very successfully. So I would want to leave you behind with certain thoughts on how can you build your own personal brand and also leverage it for the benefit of Rotary, an institution which all of us are a part of and proud of. So the first thing is clearly identify what are the 2 or 3 things you want to be known as. Do you want to be known as someone who's very passionate about environment, or someone who's an expert on complex taxation laws which keep changing in India, or someone who's an expert on logistics and supply chain? And even 3 is a lot. Ideally, it should be 1 or 2 things, 1 professional and 1 personal. People are often guilty of trying to be everything to everyone. If you want to be everything to everyone, you end up becoming nothing to no one. And nobody cares about anybody who is nothing to no one. So the art of personal branding starts from defining what are 1 or 2 things you want to be known as, writing it down, and then actually testing whether people realize that's what you stand for. That defines what is your self-image and what is the perception which people have about you. Whatever is the perception which people have about you, which means what they talk about you when you're not in the room, minus your self-image, is the journey you need to walk to create your personal brand. If you think you're a fitness influencer and people actually think that you're flabby and you're not fit, you're living in an imaginary, illusionary world, and your self-image and your perception have a huge gap, and your personal brand doesn't exist. So you really need to be very realistic and talk to people, understand what do they think about you, and not be taken in by people who are just praising you for the sake of it, but really want to help you become a better personal brand. Once you understand what do you want to be known as, I think it is very important to start speaking up and sharing your knowledge on that topic. When you start showing vulnerability online, speaking out, often at the risk of being trolled, and getting trolled is a real-time phenomenon today. It can happen to even the biggest influencers and thought leaders. So don't worry, you're in good company if you're getting trolled. Only people who speak their mind get trolled. If you're not out there, you're not trying to create a personal brand, you're never going to get trolled. Don't worry about that. Start speaking out, start engaging with other people who are known for the same thing. When you start engaging with them and you remain open to feedback, differences of opinion, and at the same time being able to very respectfully put forward your opinion, you start building a personal brand. Now, a lot of people ask me when I'm doing workshops, what is the best way to behave online? And the simple answer to that is don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. If you don't want others to ridicule you, don't do that. If you want others to appreciate what you're saying, please do that. If you want others to be positive towards you, please do that. So very simple thing like appreciating others' comments, being responsive if somebody reaches out to you on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, favoriting nice quotations or articles from others shows that you are actually an involved person and you have not outsourced your personal brand to an agency which is doing all the thinking on your behalf. Great example of a phenomenal personal brand is Anand Mahindra, who was my previous boss when I was with Mahindra and Mahindra. You would see Anand engaging on a variety of topics with everybody from a humble idli seller in Chennai to someone who's done something brilliant to showing humor. And I can tell you, after having worked with him closely, there is zero difference between Anand Mahindra in personal life and Anand Mahindra as a personal brand digitally. That's the level of authenticity, I think, which all of us can aspire for, and really create a personal brand which helps us in our business and for Rotary. I think it's also very important to demonstrate authenticity and come across as a human being. Human beings by nature are not perfect. So if your professional brand or digital brand is always seen as very perfect, made up, artificial, your believability today goes down. People of your generation, and I mean largely RCD elite, most of you are really young and super smart. I wish we had this smartness when we were of your age. They are very smart. You can't fool them. You can't even fool them once. That whole idiom of you can fool some people sometime, and you can't fool all the people all the time doesn't hold true today. So people want to be seen as authentic, and people want authenticity. So do keep that in mind. Thank you. Open for questions now.
Great. Very well said, sir, Aporshi, and I mean, very insightful pointers on the narrative, controlling the narrative that is in the social and the digital space. So I'll just take one or two more questions on it. So how can a brand basically see, you have mentioned correctly about personalizing the brand, right? How to stay authentic, and it's important to control the narrative that is out there. But it's very different when it comes to a personal individual versus when it comes to a corporate strategy, right? And any insights or any deeper insights on how a brand can distinguish itself based on social messages, or how can they further control the narrative?
That's a very good question. I think there are two things. The era of you controlling the narrative is over. And the reason why it's over is today it's not you just trying to say as a brand that you're very environmentally sensitive or you care about diversity and minorities in India. Yeah. People are going to go back 10 years and pull out the tweet where you showed your original self, and they're going to bring it to the party. Absolutely. And really prove that you're a hypocrite. Or they're going to record you somewhere where you didn't know you're being recorded, and that's going to viral across WhatsApp channels. So yeah. I don't think today is about controlling the narrative. I think today is about being authentic, and let that authenticity drive conversations, engagement, and always being true to yourself. And if you make a mistake, owning up for it and saying, hey, I was wrong, and let's move on. Very, very important, right? So that's the first thing. The second is you need to be very sensitive. Like, imagine today you're a pizza brand and you're trying to ride off the Ukraine crisis and you're coming across as gimmicky. So just because there is a social cause, if you don't have a point of view on it and you're not doing anything, if you try to tag yourself to that and ride off that, I think people can see through it. People are very smart and people don't appreciate that today. So that's a word of caution there.
Great. Thank you. And just my last question would be basically, now as so in the digital space, it's equally important to have to be present, as you had initially mentioned during the beginning, that it's on different platforms we have different persona and we leverage them for different perspectives. Like on LinkedIn we are more professional, Twitter we are more quirkier, we project ourselves as more intellect, and whereas on Facebook or Instagram we are more personalized, as in it's totally like behind the scenes scenario. So is the world ready for the brands or for the businesses out there to to showcase their experiential side, or the world is still, the corporate is still relying on the conventional brand communication platforms? How do you see it?
I think the world is more than ready, and there are enough examples of people not spending a dime, not doing TV, not doing radio, not even spending any money on inorganic advertising on Facebook, Insta, and Google. I think anytime you have a powerful message which resonates with your target audience, the target audience will become your media vehicle. It's far easier to start a Dandi March today than it was 60, 70 years ago when Gandhiji did.
Yeah.
If you have a powerful message, the audience is going to become your media, and they are going to viral your message. So there is this influencer, many of you would have heard of her. Her name is Ayo Shraddha. I don't know if you've seen her videos, maybe some of you have. And she has a very witty take on contemporary management topics, things like performance appraisal, compensation, career growth. And millions of people are watching her video. She's not spending anything. She uploads it on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and people keep sharing it. So zero media spend. I think this is a generation, this is the time which really respects originality, which respects a sense of humor, which wants you to be interesting. If you can entertain people, if you can empower and enthusiase people, if you can really, really encourage people, if you can show them a life which they are dreaming of, I think people are very open to experimentation.
You said it well, like connecting them to their aspirational higher self. That okay, what else is there? So beautiful. Thank you so much for throwing some light on the deeper insights, and very insightful. I mean, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me into this August gathering with DG, Dinesh ji, multiple PDGs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
On the behalf of Connecting RTR 2.0, we would like to thank Rotarian Apurv Chamaria ji for enlightening us with the wisdom of words and encouraging us to be more enlightened toward the thought leaders. And with your experience, we would definitely encourage ourselves into more thought processings and experience gaining journey. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Moving further, creativity is seeing what others see and thinking what no one else has ever thought. Creative thinking inspires ideas, and ideas inspires change. To take you all along the journey and make you all aware about why creative thinking is necessary in today's competitive corporates, we are here with our upcoming session of the evening, and thus I would request Assistant District Rotaract Representative of the Rota Year 2020-2021, Rotaractor Abhishek Dobal, to kindly introduce our esteemed speaker.
Thank you, Ria. Our lovely audience, I take the privilege to announce our honorable guest, Ms. Sonal Vashisht. She has been an important part of Comic Con for the past 4 years, and from assistant manager at talent and the head at activation and content team. She is now the director at activation alliance and talent. She was also the manager, senior manager in strategic alliance and partnership at Bazi Games, and also the creative producer at 20 Onwards Media. Now, may I call upon the prestigious personality in the limelight, and to moderate the session, I would like to call Rotarian Anmol Chawla, one of the most active, experienced Rotaractor RID 3011. Rotarian Rotaractor Anmol Chawla. He has served as the club president of Rotaract Club of Sri Aurobindo College in 2016 to 17 and was a district Rotaract representative of RID 3011 in Rota year 2017 to 18. He is the charter president of Rotary Club of Delhi Elite in 2018 and 19 and is currently serving as the club trainer. Not only this, he also served Southeast Asian Rotaract Information Center Multi-District Information Organization for 3 consecutive years and was the vice president in 2020 and 21. He is a club trainer of Rotaract Club of Delhi Vedanta and associated with the club since 18 and 19. The man of the honor is the director at Vraksh Management Private Limited and is young entrepreneur since 5 years. Huge round of applause for these 2 amazing personalities.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Abhishek.
Vladimir Purik, the Night King.
Hi, I'm Declan Shelby. I'm artist of Injection and Moonlight, writer of Deadpool.
Hi, my name is John Lehman. I am a comic book writer. I've written Batman, Chew, Outer Darkness.
Hi, Sonal. Very good evening. How are you?
Very good. What about you?
Awesome. So, firstly, thank you so much for your enlightening presence here. So, we have prepared a set of questions for you. I mean, just to enlighten our audience that we have on all our platforms, be it Zoom. So, we have the core team here, and everybody is live with us on our website. So, I guess we're ready.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, just a quick question. So, do you read comics? If yes, what all do you read?
Okay. So when I started out at Comic Con India, I didn't. I was very involved in watching a lot of movies or TV shows or any series that was coming out. I would be on top of it, but I never really read too many comics. But because when I started working at Comic Con, I got to meet a lot of fans and I got to meet a lot of hardcore comic book artists, writers, that got me really, really hooked on to some really good comics, such as Mouse. I've read My Friend Dharma, Persepolis, Zara's Paradise. So these are some of my really favorite ones. But it became like a gateway drug to reading books for me, Comic Con. So it was sort of a way to sort of get into comics for me personally. And I know for a fact that a lot of others that I come across, a lot of fans who weren't really comic book readers before, sort of started reading comics because of Comic-Con. So, yeah.
Awesome. So my team says that you are dressed up like one of the characters. So is it so? If yes, what is it? I don't know.
So back when we started Comic-Con, the whole concept of cosplay, which is costume play, didn't really exist in India. Now we wanted sort of everybody to come dressed up as characters because it's really big in the US shows. And to do that, we decided, the core team, me, the founder and a bunch of others, we decided to sort of cosplay ourselves. So I remember the first character that I dressed up as was Wilma Dickley from Scooby-Doo. And then I became very passionate about it. Cosplaying. So I would try and cosplay at each of our events, but it's not been happening since the last few events, but yeah.
All right. So what are your views on the Indian comic industry and where do you see it going?
Yeah. So basically it's not really, rather than an industry, it's a community driven mostly by creators themselves, people who self-publishing. Obviously there are a few exceptions like Amachitra Katha or Graphic India or Campfire. There are these creators who are self-publishing and who have day jobs, but also at the side of it make their own comics. It's evolving. People used to make a lot of back when we started. I used to see a lot of comics which were based on mythology or history. Now it's become, now it's changed to more contemporary themes. Indian readers have sort of evolved as well. And they've sort of taken up to Western comics or Japanese, manga has become really popular in India. So it's the Indian creators are now also working for international publishers such as DC, Marvel, Image. So we're really sort of being appreciated internationally, and the comic scene in India sort of has really, exploded in the last 10 years, I would say. We're even hearing of talks of comic book publishers actually creating animation for some series on OTT platforms. So it's really exploded in the last few years.
Right. So as you mentioned the name of Marvel, so I'll personally mention that yes, I am also a diehard Marvel fan and have almost watched all the movies. So how do you feel? Since I am also from the production side or the event side, we have a chill atmosphere in our offices, right? So and yes, we agree on that. That if you are working in day and night, so yes, night might be more interesting in the fashion that the creativity might explode during that hours. This is what is there in the market, that yes, the creativity explodes in the night time in this industry. So how do you see that the atmosphere in the workplace is important? In what sense? How do you feel on this production side?
Honestly, I'm not sure if this is about creative people or being creative while doing your job. I believe it's really important to sort of figure out your way, how you sort of like I function very differently from a lot of other people. So it's I wouldn't call it creativity. I just think that it's how you survive in an environment where events are, and like you said, you've been in events, so you know how hectic it could get. So it's all about survival. It's all about keeping yourself healthy and making sure you're doing all you have to do. So creativity is sort of it's great when it comes to sort of surviving and being fit and also finishing your tasks. So yeah.
Very well said. Very well said. All right. So one important thing I would ask on the creativity front again. So by creative, so define creativity for the people that we have along with us right now. So what is creativity according to you?
Creativity according to me is thinking out of the box. So it could be used in any way. As simple as I like to make my tea a different way. I like to sort of put maybe jaggery instead of sugar or something. That's called being creative. Or maybe I like to, like you said, I like to work at night rather than during day hours, because there's too much happening around me, because now we're working from home. So according to me, finding those hours where I could concentrate is also called being creative. So to me, creativity is just thinking out of the box and sort of getting the job done. So
also adding to this, what I feel is pre-pandemic and post-pandemic situations are different. Rather, it is not still yet post-pandemic, but still we are an edge ahead. So how do you feel that the sitting at home or the working on your laptop day in and day and night, on your phones and your tablets, whatever, has the creative mindset of any individual exploded, or has just gone a bit high on the range? Has it improvised? What do you feel on the digital front?
I think it absolutely has improved. It's sort of, we all had to improvise, and we all had to sort of figure out ways to do our businesses. As us being hardcore events industry, being in an events industry, all we did was these 4 or 5 shows. We had to somehow come up with creative ways of continuing with our business, and I would say it's not really hampered our creativity, but added to it. We've figured out ways to sort of conduct the entire event, like this event. If the pandemic wasn't happening, would be conducted offline and not on a digital platform, right? So I think that's really helped people think out of the box and sort of come up with ways to make money. So I think that's really added to it. The pandemic, I think the very few things that the pandemic has sort of given to us is being creative in making money. So that's what I feel.
And I guess being efficient as well. So that is
Absolutely.
one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So efficiency with creativity has somehow taken the edge, and it is anyways helping all age groups, I would say, in whatever fashion communities, So very well said. Asha, if you can share, one of the fantastic experiences while you've been executing Comic-Con, Pan India. So any good experience that you would want to share with us?
There are quite a few actually, because I've been with the organization since the last 10 years. I think one of the things that I can't sort of forget is before we had any international exposure, we used to think that Comic-Cons in India would be very different from the Western ones. And the concept of, having such a massive event, to me personally, I didn't think that it would be of the level of the international Comic-Cons. And I was sort of lucky to get an opportunity to go visit and get trained at Chicago Comic-Con. There I realized that was just a bigger version of what we do here. So for me, that was one of those moments that I felt really proud of our country and, that we could do this.
Nice. So I guess, we have wrapped up all the questions. So anything you would want to share about the organization that we have, Rotary, Rotaract, Interact. So we have 400 people joined with us today. So any blessings, anything that you want to say from Comic-Con side or from your side, you're most welcome.
I just want to say that though, events have started and me being someone from an events industry, would want people to step out and come for the events and pay for the events. But I would just say, stay safe, mask up. Don't think that the pandemic is over. So that's all I want to say.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Sonal. Thank you so much for your lovely presence. And it was indeed, a great conversation altogether. I'm sure our viewers loved it. Our audience here loved it. So thank you again Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sonal, for such an amazing session. It was an honor to have you with us today. I think the session gave us a great insight on how creativity flows in your line, and it was a pleasure to hear your experiences in the field. Thank you so much, Mr. Anmol, for moderating the session and giving it a great structure. Thank you so much, audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving further, great leaders don't tell us what to do, but show how it is done. With this, now may I call upon the most spirited leader of all times, District Rotaract Representative for the tenure 2020-2021, Rotarian Rotaractor Sarthak Bansal, to give us his closing remarks.
Thank you, Ria, for this warm introduction. It has been a long time that I have addressed a gathering of Rotaractors and Rotarians. Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. This is IPDRR Rotaractor Sarthak Bansal. So I would be giving the concluding remarks of connecting RTR 2.0. The event that our team organized when the Rotaract district team is technically inactive. It was organized for the first time back in 2019-20, then again this year in 21-22. So we received the support or collaboration from 75% of the Rotaract clubs of our district, 3011. We received 400 plus registrations of the Rotaractors, which indeed says the amount, the support that we have of Rotaractors of our district for such events, where they want to get involved in events like this, where we are giving them an opportunity or a platform where they can represent their work. Our chief guest, Rotarian Ashok Kantur sir, gave address regarding the reforms that would be introduced next year. IPDG Sanjeev sir told us and motivated us that why we should remain in Rotary and opt for dual membership. PDG Vinay Bhatia sir told us how we can organize on-ground events again with full efficiency and effectiveness, considering the COVID lockdown and restrictions that we faced during these past months. Then we have our keynote speaker, Purv Chamaria sir, who told us why brand building is important in today's dynamic and competitive corporate environment. And then Ms. Sonal told us why we need creative thinking, why it is important for all of us so that we could survive in this corporate environment and proceed and succeed in our corporate or professional life. So these were the concluding remarks from me regarding connecting RTR 2.0. Thank you so much for attending, and I would hand over it to Priya.
Thank you so much, Sarthak. Your words are always an inspiration for each one of us. And the leaders like you are not become overnight. You guys are very, very, very much inspiration for each one of us, for the young leaders like us. And with this, I would like to move further. We have come to the end of this wonderful evening, and thus I would request Road Tractor Kanishk Khurana, the event secretary, to kindly present a warm vote of thanks to everyone present here.
Thank you so much, Ria. Our honorable chief guest for the event, our very own District Governor-elect Rotarian Ashok Kanturji, immediate past District Governor Rotarian Sanjeev Rai Mehra ji, past District Governor Rotarian Vinay Bhatia ji, and our most valued invited guests, Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks for connecting RTR 2.0. I, Road Tractor Kanishk Khurana, event secretary, on behalf of entire team of Connecting RTR 2.0, extends a very hearty vote of thanks to all the speakers for gracing our event with their warm presence and sharing with us their findings and opinions. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Assistant Governor Designate Rotarian Apurv Chamaria ji for sharing their wonderful thoughts about brand building. Further, we are grateful to Ms. Sonal Vashisht for her wonderful session and for engaging our audience so well. We all feel so inspired by the great works and words. I also like to acknowledge the presence of Rotarian Dinesh Jain ji, Rotarian Mohit Anand Bhatia ji, Rakesh Talwar ji. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated Rotarians of Rotary Club of Delhi Elite, our president, Rotarian Shreyas Nehi, secretary and the event chair, Rotarian Ankit, our IPDRR Sarthak and PDRR Rotarian Road Tractor Anul Chawla, our ambassador clubs, our supporting clubs, and hardworking road tractors of our district who knew their job and ensured seamless execution of this event. I cannot thank everyone enough for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their capacity and comfort zones. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us and being an amazing audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kanishk. And here I would like to make a little announcement that we have received a lot of presentations from the different clubs of our Road Track District 3011, and we all have loved those presentations. And if other clubs wants to share their presentations with us now also, you can just go to our website and drop your presentations there in the link that we have attached to that page. And also you can visit the other presentations that the clubs have already submitted. So thank you very much. And thank you very much all the ladies and gentlemen for joining us today. I hope our paths cross again very, very soon. Till then, goodbye, and you please take care, a very good care of yourselves, and thank you so much.